Hey, what's up, everybody? We got
Yo,
Bosa over there. Wait, that way, that way. Tamara, where's Shane? He ain't here. I guess he's still sleeping. But welcome to Behind the Scenes. I don't usually do the introductions, but we gotta wing something sometimes. So Bosa, we got you here. I mean, I'm honored to have you on the show. I mean, you like
it's
support
an honor to
everybody.
be asked.
Like,
Uh,
where do you find time to do like all that you do? I mean, that it's just amazing. You're everywhere. I mean, I get it. You can go one to one, but it just seems like there's two of you, brother. I mean, you're everywhere.
yeah, I mean, I try to support as much as possible whenever I can. Um, Between dad duties and house duties, I find my my spot to be able to support. So I appreciate my wife for always understanding too. That this is what I love to do. This is the passion. Everything in the snake community it's what motivates me every day. It gives me that vibe that I like, that positive vibe. So I'm
Right.
always there.
I get that because, like, it gets kind of, monotonous at first with going through all these streams. It's just like everyone's saying the same thing over and over. But I mean, it's kind of about the streams, but it's more about just staying in contact with people in the chat and, like, talking to everybody. It's not just one person, it's everybody.
Yeah, I
And that's
mean,
what pulls me in.
definitely. I actually prefer the chats than being in the camera, but I've met people through the chats, and when you're able to actually meet them face to face, it's like you've known each other for so long. It's almost
Right.
family, and that's what I love. And I always look forward to just chatting with everybody. It's awesome. I enjoy it. So
Speaking of, like, a family filling, I'm going to go ahead and add Shane in because he's my boy because he just came up. So he beat my expectations because I said 15, 20 minutes late.
we should have
We're
made it better
about
than
3 minutes late. We're all good.
What up, guys?
that. What's up,
Looks like
Tim?
Yeah.
you just got up.
Nah, I was making dinner for everybody, running a million errands, bro.
Well, it happens, don't it? All
Yeah.
right. Well, let's get into a little bit of the question part. What's it like in a day in life of Bosa? Like, what is your day-to-day routines?
Man, my first thing when I get up in the morning, it's make sure the kids are off to school, and right after that, it's my coffee. And depending on the day, it's whether I'm watching a podcast or not, or straight to my animals. I check on every single animal every morning. I tell them good morning, make sure they're all right, check the temps, check their water, make sure they're clean. I go check the rats, and throughout the day, I spend time either on a podcast or on Instagram or looking up morphs on Morph Market, looking, always doing something with snakes. Like
All
that.
right.
That's that's where I zone out, and I forget about a lot of the daily troubles or negative stuff that we all deal with. No matter what, how positive you want to be, you deal with negative stuff on a
All right.
daily. So to me, it's my zone, and I enjoy it. That's who I am. I'm lucky that my family understands that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. And now you are known as Mr. Classic. For those who don't know, Bosa definitely likes the classic look of a ball python.
I love the classy look.
Yeah, I love the classic look. However, I was looking, and you actually have a pretty cool collection. I I noticed you had a banana clown, a banana pied. Is banana one of the things that you like to put in some of your projects, or is it just what you had gotten and you're trying to work from
No,
there?
I definitely fell in love with the banana gene. I love it in pie. I love it in clown. So I I I got both. I got a female banana pie and a male clown pie, and
Yeah,
I am working those into my project. So I'm
nice.
looking forward to working in. Yeah.
Nice.
I
Heck
know
yeah,
that
banana.
everybody like thinks that I only like classics. No, I like more than that, but I really have a
Right.
deep appreciation for the classic. I think that
Absolutely.
it's something that draws us in at the beginning. Like that could be your
Hmm.
first pet, especially for a kid. You know, if their parents can afford a $400 or $500 snake, I mean a $20-$30 classic
Right.
would draw them in, and later on, you know, they're part of the community and they're buying snakes from everybody else. So I mean,
Absolutely.
it's a gateway snake.
Gateway
Absolutely.
snake.
And a classic is still valuable in your collection
It is.
because whenever you
It
get
is.
something you don't know, you breed it back to the classic to try to prove out genetics.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Um,
Yeah.
so
they're
I mean,
very important.
no matter how far you get into it, you still need that classic in there. I have a classic and I love him. I mean, I'm sure he's het for some stuff, but man, he's so good looking. For a classic, you'd be surprised at how good some of them can look, you
Yeah.
know?
Right.
Yeah. And like I said, you know, they're not only it's not the value, but it's what they provide for you too. Like you
Yeah.
said, prove something out, or even, you know, put it into your genes, or just have it as a pet. You know, like show it off,
Mhm.
and it, to me, they're wonderful. I love them. I like when I see egg cutting videos and they're like, it's normal. I'm like, man, come on, be more
Come
excited.
on, man. Come
It's
on, man.
Right. Right. You made a life. That's something awesome, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
and they're still beautiful.
it'll serve a
Right.
purpose, you know, whether it's a pet or for breeding or
Yeah.
anything, you know, it'll serve a purpose.
And I think they are really helpful in the educational realm as well, because you hold up a classic and show them like, hey, this is what they start off as, and then once you start getting into the different genetics, you can come up with something crazy. But
Definitely.
it's always good to have that baseline.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible how two super normals come together and create a pie, create a
Yeah.
clown,
An
albino.
ivory.
You know?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Any of the leucistics. I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
love that.
every morph we got was at some point bred with a normal,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. To a certain point, yeah. Okay, so we've all seen the pictures on Instagram. If you have Instagram, what is it like making all the changes that you've had to make, like from the lifestyle you used to live to now?
It's a complete different change. I mean, um, coming from a place of darkness, of depression, you know, you've been through a lot, and life really sucked at one point, and you didn't find a way out, and then all of a sudden you discover something that you've been wanting for a long time, but you know, you've been taught that it's evil, and to completely change yourself around and just find a totally different view of life, it's awesome. You know, like at one point I was 417 pounds,
Yeah.
stuck in bed, and really just not wanting to live. Like, just I didn't want nothing to do with the outside world or anything. I had a back injury, and I couldn't work anymore, and you know, just started eating and gaining weight and didn't care about nothing.
Right.
One day I got tired of it, you know. One of my classmates, Alain from Creme de la Clutch, he had got into snakes. He knew that I loved animals. I've always raised animals, and he told me about them. He told me get in, and at first I was hesitant. It took me a while, but when I took that first step, I got that first piebald, and the breeder let me have a het piebald female, and I fell in love with her. Like, the piebald was beautiful, but that classic, man, she just drew me, bro.
I mean, they're so unique. You can't really find two classics that are alike. I mean, it's just you could put any two next to each other and find differences.
Yeah,
They're unique to their own animals, and that's cool. That's cool.
After that, I was completely hooked on the snakes, and just reading and try to build my collection of what I liked, and you know, all of a sudden my focus on life changed. Like, I had something to look forward to,
Right.
and you know, I wasn't as hungry anymore. I wasn't as depressed anymore. Like, I wanted to go out. I wanted to look around. I found something that I had in common with my son, you know, and my daughter. My daughter loves the snakes, and
That's awesome.
from one day to another, I made a complete change, and I didn't use any drugs or surgery. Not to knock anybody off, whether you use it or not, you know. Everybody has their own journey and stuff, but I was able to just, all my focus came for the animals. Like, I was so in love with the hobby, with everything, and it's just made it so easy. Like, I made a complete change like no other, you know. And sometimes you might be dealing with different addictions to different stuff, or stuff you want to work with, or goals you have, and you never go for it. Find something that gets you focused on it, you know. Ball pythons are not the cure for everything. They're not gonna make you lose weight like I did, but if you find it interesting, don't be scared to take a step forward and try something new. You don't know what comes out of it, you know. Like, I mean, I look at myself, I still don't believe it sometimes. Like, I mean, I go to the store and I'm like shopping at the big and tall section. I'm like,
what am I doing here?
Right.
Dude, like, the first time I seen them pictures, I was just like, what? I mean, I just wanted to high five you right there. Like, yeah, go ahead, dude. Like, that's what's up. I mean, of course, it was just a picture, but it made me want to high five you. I mean,
yeah, I like to share that. At first, I didn't really want to, but I like to share it just because there's some people that might need that motivation, you know, like I did. I wish I would have had someone that would have motivated me that way. And that first video I put, I mean, I got so many messages of people asking me how I did it, what they can do, what advice I can give them. There are some people that told me that they were motivated by it and they wanted to make a change. I mean, that's awesome. That was the whole point of it, you know, like whether it's weight loss or addiction, or like I said, if you have goals or dreams that you haven't tried to venture out into, hey, you know, you can do it, man. Like, I mean, you go from 417 pounds to 175. Come on, man.
yeah, come on, man. Like, seriously, that's
so. After losing all of that weight, what did you find it difficult to keep it off, or is it much easier to keep it off? I would think that it's easier to keep it off once you get lower, but just wondering.
It's kind of a struggle every day.
Okay.
It's a struggle because, I mean, you go from enjoying a dozen donuts by yourself to not touching a donut for over 2 years, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of people tell me, hey, man, you can enjoy one. And I tell them, well, that's what I used to love the most, donuts. And
I love me some donuts too, dude. You ain't gonna tell them.
You're not gonna tell a recovering crackhead to, you know,
right.
Piece of crack, you know. So, but I find it, to me, it's not as bad, it's not as hard, just because I do have my snakes. You know, I get to go in my garage and look at my snakes, and I take them out and spend some time with them and enjoy it. And then I'm right here in the podcasts. I'm in the chats. I'm talking to people that have something in common with me. You know, it's not that easy. I can't go to my neighbor's house and talk about snakes. They'll probably kick me out, you know.
Right. Absolutely.
So, and family is like most of them now accept it, but it's not like you can spend the whole time with them talking about snakes because they're not into it. And it's all right. I understand that. But right here in the chat is like, we're talking about snakes. We're talking about life, not just snakes. We're talking about life, you know. So
a plethora of things that we talk about.
Yeah,
you know. Sorry, go ahead.
You find stuff in common with so many people, you know, that you get to meet, and maybe someone's going through something and you can help them out, or you're going through something and someone helps you out, and you find advice and you find a friend and a shoulder to lean on, and that's awesome. That's awesome. I love it.
Absolutely. And from going, so for everybody out there, realize he had basically made a decision for the most part overnight and just followed it. So there's no time like the present, guys. You know, like if you're trying to chase your dreams, if there's something out there, hey, do it. You know, go
as
get
soon
it.
as you can.
Yeah,
today.
Don't wait for Monday. You know, there's so many Mondays, but now is when you start acting. And even if you take a small step, it's a small step forward. It's progress. You know, it don't matter how small it is, but just taking that first step, you done did the first part that will help you move on. You know, and whatever it is, even if it's breeding, if it's making it a business or whatever, I mean, take that step. Don't let nobody hold you back. Don't hold yourself back. You know,
right?
So don't wait for Monday. Today.
Even this second isn't a second that you can get back.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
you got to do it now.
Exactly.
So you have mentioned creme de la creme as someone you looked up to and kind of, I guess, mentored you a little bit. Is there anyone else out there that you kind of looked up to?
In the community, I've gotten help for so many people. It's incredible, you know, like with not just with snakes, with a lot of stuff. Creme de la Clutch, Alain, he got me into this, and I'm forever grateful for him. I run his Instagram page, and he hooks me up with a couple of snakes every once in a while. I'm just grateful that he trusts me with his Instagram page, you know. And
right.
I got Easy from One of Tom Morphs. He's always there, giving me advice, talking to me. Emilio from Villarino Reptiles. This guy is awesome, man. Like, just the amount of support I get from them. Chris from Flex and Finesse, and everybody from Mi Familia .org. These guys have become family to me. You got a question, Levi will answer you. Gio from Eden's Den. Mike from Hertz Collect. Mike, shout out, brother. You know, Bree from Sinfo. We got Christina from Genetics Nerd and her husband. It's a whole family, you know. It's so awesome that I don't have to hear it from one person. I got so many people I can go to that it really does feel like family. You know, it is family to me. It is. I got all this support system, more than what I need, and then you meet people, you know, that come into your life, and it's you wonder why you didn't meet earlier, like certain stuff you wouldn't go through if you had them in your life, you know. So it's awesome. Yeah,
absolutely. I end up like, I find myself whenever I get on these live chats and stuff, like late at night, especially, like, man, I'm talking to you guys, like, you know, like I'm just talking to my friends, and I forget that I'm live streaming, like, for the whole world to see. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I feel like it's such a good thing because the community is so welcoming. The people that are watching, it's like they really are like my friends, you know? And it's so crazy at how quickly not knowing anybody can go to knowing just about everybody. And like all of them are like, yo, what up? Every time they see you, you know? Like anytime you see Kike come in, I'm always like, sup, dude? You know? Like,
Yeah, and there's like 20 of them. I mean, like 30, 40, 50 people basically in this community that you'll find that just goes around and hops, you know, to podcast. There's at least 50 of us out there. And it's just like we're the podcast fam. I mean, we've been nothing but welcomed. Like, it's great.
It's awesome. It's an awesome feeling. And you know, and to be able to see you guys, you know, you started out, both of y'all just talking amongst each other and having fun, like just enjoying what you were doing, you know, chatting. And now, like how you guys are growing and stuff, it's awesome. Like I love it. Like just to see it from the start and what's evolving to. That's incredible. Like I hands down, I really, really, really enjoy watching you guys grow. So it's awesome.
Heck yeah, I appreciate that, dude.
That means something.
And we love to see you too. Every time you make something, I'm always like, oh, Bosa got something out. Let's check this out. You know, like, and I swear, I'm chasing you around podcasts all day, bro. Every time. I'm like, oh, where's Kike? Ah, there he is. All right, what up, bro?
I mean, they should invent like a tagger that you could just see where certain people's at. Because if you follow that man, you're doing everything right.
Yeah, I mean, like,
to chase Kike, man. He's out there. He's at every one of them.
I think
I said in the beginning, Shane, sorry, Boss, of it. It's like there's two of him because he's everywhere.
Yeah.
I think Will got me on hold though. Like Will be out there too, you know. Will from Will.
Oh yeah, Will is definitely out there a lot too, for sure. Well, there's definitely a few people that I see that are like, you know, I see them in just about everyone. But yeah, definitely you and Will are probably the two that are out there the most. No matter where I go, I'm like, oh, there they are. What up? You know, like, yeah, cool. It's very cool. You know, it's like, even though we aren't talking, we're experiencing these things together. You know, all of us in the chat and stuff when we're watching this stuff. If somebody's having an interview and they come across something that's really crazy, like we all seen it, we all experienced it together. I think that's something that's really awesome about the whole live stream game is that, you know, it's real and no edits.
That connection you find with so many different people, you know. I still remember just being in the chats talking with Stan, you know, saying hi to Stan all the time. And then I got to meet him in Daytona and immediately just felt like family, you know. Same with Keys. Got to meet them in Daytona for the first time and it was straight up family, like just the love and support that you get from them and everybody around the community. It's awesome. That's why I think these shows are important, man. Like you go to them and you're with family, you know. It don't feel like it's the first time meeting someone.
Right, absolutely. That's the thing is Ken and I have never met. Yeah. I mean, we're definitely really good friends, you know. Like
he's like a brother. He's like my little brother I never had. I mean,
yeah, I was gonna say I consider him a brother, you know, and like I'd never met him, and there's so many people out here that like the first time I meet you guys, I'm gonna probably hug y'all like your family because hey, you are to me, you know.
And it feels that way.
I'm a hugger too, so you know, like expect it.
Yeah, it's an awesome feeling. It's an awesome feeling. Like, you know, you just met someone on the chat and you've been chatting for a while, or you meet them on the live and stuff, and then you get to meet each other in person. It's incredible. Like, just a real awesome feeling.
Right. So, what are your 2023 breeding plans looking like?
Right now, I'm pairing up just stuff that I'm gonna work with. That I want, which is I'm putting nanny to everything.
Nanny everything. I know. That's your thing.
Nanny to my clown. I'm I'm putting. I got a lot of pastel stuff, so I'm trying to see, what I'm gonna work with that. But I really don't want a lot of the females I have that are ready. I'm not pairing them just because I'm not interested in working that project for myself yet. I don't want to create too much and be overwhelmed with it. So
right,
that's
smart.
Anything I'm breeding is strictly for me, and if
Building blocks.
anybody wants something from there, then
Right.
I'll be happy to talk with them and stuff. But probably my year will probably be. I set a goal for 2025.
Okay.
I feel comfortable with that. So
Yeah, where that's when you're gonna hit, that's when you're gonna just start producing as much as you can, or as bad a bangers. Like, what are you trying to accomplish in 2025?
2025, I'm trying to accomplish just having not a business, a nice hobby where I can, create stuff that I like and maybe someone else likes. Probably, I really don't want to make this ever a business. It's more of a hobby of something I enjoy and stuff. I was even contemplating not breeding at all, just collecting and using it as education. But I am breeding. I want that experience, and I do want to be able to provide some animals created by me to anybody that wants it. So,
for sure.
As far as making it a business or making it something big, I have no real plans for that at this moment. I can't say that it won't change or anything.
Right.
I really want to focus more on education and just bringing more people in to the hobby, especially the younger kids.
Right.
This Christmas I started something and I didn't think I was going to get too much support, and I got more than I wanted. So definitely looking to continue it for next year and see if I'm able to reach more of the youth,
Right. I tell you what, you're building yourself a heck of a platform here for if you ever do start selling that I think you're going to have interest. That's just my opinion. I mean, I think everybody agrees that they would want a Bosa snake. I mean, that you're building yourself a great platform.
Absolutely.
Hopefully, whatever I decide, it's always good for me. And
I had seen you gotten some locks. Do you have any eggs in the incubator or no?
Not yet. I had a female that played with my emotions.
Hey, that's normal, isn't it? I mean, I'm sure your wife plays with the emotions sometimes too. I mean,
but now there's two females that are really looking promising, so we'll see what happens.
Right. You have a dream combo, like just something that like you inspire to hit someday.
Yeah. I saw it at Royal Genetics from Kenny Aponte. He got it's a nanny clown black pastel pinstripe, and I fell in love with that animal. I really want to one day create that animal myself. So
heck yeah,
that's cool. Be my goals.
I love pinstripe, and I know it's kind of an unpopular thing, but man, I think that there's a lot of potential left in the pinstripe gene for you to be able to get some cool stuff out of it still. I have an acid fire pinstripe, and man, that girl, she is just crazy. I'll probably pull her out later. But like in pinstripe, Ken's got chocolate pinstripe going on. I think that there's a lot of pinstripe combos, and yeah, you're on the right track there. Actually, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, what excites me about that chocolate pinstripe is it's also hidden gene Wuma, and I've seen some hidden gene Wuma clowns that just are like, wow, that's amazing. Like, so I think that's going to be an interesting combo that you're going to see in the future, chocolate hidden Chihuahua.
Absolutely. So
My
I'd
opinion.
seen that you have, from what I had seen, you have a beardy, you have some turtles, or are those tortoises?
Tortoises, Sakala.
Okay. Yeah. So you got a beardy, some tortoises, a rabbit, a dog, some boas, or is it just one boa?
I just got my first boa probably 3 weeks or a month ago.
She was
I thought
beautiful.
I didn't think they was illegal in Florida.
No, they're legal. The
I-
boas, yeah.
If they
I think
wasn't, I'd be like, let's just skip that topic. We don't got it.
Right.
They're legal here. Luckily, still.
Man, that beardy you have is good looking. What morph is that beardy?
I don't know. It was given to my son
Wow.
from someone that couldn't keep it, so we took it in, and he's beautiful. He's awesome. He's real chill. You know, every once in a while we bring him in and just enjoy him. He's real calm. So I like to have that natural sunlight. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. I took my beardy outside the other day, and that girl wanted to fight me so bad. I was like, "Oh snap! They must have not taken her outside," because like I had recently gotten her given to me as well, and like inside she's a absolute sweetheart, super smart, super sweet, no problems whatsoever. I got her outside, she was like. Like just wanting to fight. I was like, "Oh man, no!" And I'm like trying to like. Luckily, I had her on the leash because she was trying to go, and I was like, "No, whoa!" And like I had to go and get the snake gloves to pick her up because I couldn't. I was like, "No, she is absolutely at me right now." Like I didn't want to hurt her, so. But once I did pick her up, she didn't bite me. She was all talk. But it was like, dang, man, you take it. I didn't realize that it was real. You know, they say like, oh, if you don't take your lizard outside, when they see you out in the actual sunlight, you look different.
Oh.
I didn't think that. Yeah, I didn't think that was true because I was doing that with my tegu. I take my tegu out often so that she can get used to me or whatever. Apparently that beardy had never been outside and was just like losing her mind when she got out there. She's like, "You're not the guy I came with," you know, like.
Yeah.
You ever had your beardy lose its mind?
If you've ever seen bearded dragons breed, have you ever seen the way they breed?
No.
So this last weekend, I went up to Lexi's place, and that's what makes this all worth it. I can't lose in this thing. Like I got my daughter doing this now, and growing this with her is just like I won. I won already. No matter what this turns into, I already feel like I won. So this is just all irrelevant what happens. But I just got this I won attitude. I love it. But she was scared to put these two together as male and female, and I was just like, they're together. And that male like got up on her and started biting her neck. I'm like, hey, is this supposed to go on? And the boyfriend has watched videos of it. He's like, oh yeah, that's normal. And we're sitting there jumping up and down, all happy because it's happening. And like, it was just cool. I mean, it was just a great experience. But like, he viciously went up and bit her neck, and she's just sitting there like putting her hand up and like submitting, like that's a sign that they submit. And like, I don't know, he angled his way up underneath there somehow and started wiggling around a little bit. But then he got mad. You're supposed to leave them together for like a week, you know, in the same bed. After he was done, he started like turning on his side and throwing out his neck, and that's a defensive stand. So we had to take her out. He was like, get out of here. I'm done.
Yeah. I don't like cuddle time.
Yeah.
Just want to cuddle. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Go.
Hey, Ken, that's pretty funny that you were like, oh, just put him in there. Because 2 months ago, Ken was losing his mind about putting snakes together. And I was like, just put him in there, dude.
Do it. and like, you know, you do it once. So you just like, you know, do it twice, do it 3 times, taking them in and out. And like from doing this with snakes, I was just like, how hard was that?
Yeah. Hey, but you made a big deal out of it your first time with those.
Oh, yes, I did. I did for sure.
That was funny.
I did for sure.
I'm glad you got he did it though. He was like, oh, and like, but he did it. He was a little scared, but he got through it.
I mean, your first time experiencing this stuff, you don't want to hurt your snakes. You care about them. You're invested in them emotionally, and it's just like, I don't know. I was very hesitant. Now I'm just like, get in there, go, shut the door, do your thing. I'll put on the berry white for you. Leave you alone.
Yeah,
exactly. I gotta say, I remember whenever I went to pair mine, I was nervous too. Like it's like jumping off a cliff. You've been feeding them, and you're like, ooh, what if something goes wrong? You start getting in your own mind, and like just like, all right, let's do it. Like, and it works, and you're like, oh, they locked, and you start,
yeah, it's exciting. The first time I seen a lock, I was jumping up and down, like, yeah, go, boy, go, do it.
I remember seeing the first lock. I was like, I even forgot to record and everything. I was like, man.
Yeah, I didn't record none of that like at first, but now I'm going to start recording, because I'm trying to get good material out there, and I want to document all of it. So documenting the locks is part of it. So now I got to start doing that.
So I did record whenever I first seen them lock, but like I was so nervous, like I wasn't looking through the camera, so it was like not getting the, then I'm like holding it and I'm like shaking and shit. I was through the roof, so I was just like, oh man, we're doing it, we're really doing it. Like, yes, I did actually, indeed, the first time I waited until it started raining, took them outside, both held them each in my hand like Simba, and I had some Marvin Gaye going in the background. I was like, y'all gonna get it.
Y'all gonna get candles and everything.
Yeah, I did have a candle lit. Like,
I didn't do the candle.
First day, like within maybe an hour or two, locked. I was like, yes. And then after that, it was just like, all right, put this one with that one, this one with that one. I'm just like, lost my mind after that. But that first moment, I was like, so like, come on, make this perfect. Woo her, buddy, woo her.
What I've seen, right when they hit 500 grams, don't go putting a male in there. Wait till he gets 550, 600. Like, wait, get a little size on him. Don't rush your males in. Like, it's just, I don't know, that you won't get as good locks. You need to wait another month or two? You that impatient? That's the way I feel about it. I don't know.
One of my males, when I put him in T'Challa, he was only 536 grams.
He's first time 500 though. He wasn't 500, and you're saying, there, do it.
Well, when he went in the first time, he didn't lock. So I pulled him out, left him out for 2 weeks, fed him. He got a bigger appetite though after I put him in. So fed him, cool. Usually it's the opposite though. You'll end up getting males will stop eating after you start locking them. Well, not usually, but it can happen. He got extra hungry, and now he's at like 780, 790, somewhere around there. So, I mean, he's been growing like crazy still while breeding. So I'm like, heck yeah, I'm super lucky. However, I did have Caesar that stopped eating for like a month. But I listened to Chris from BNS Reptilia. He was telling me, hey, clean out the tub before you go to put them back. Make sure you wash them too. And I did that. Sure enough, ate right away. I was like, all right, cool. Like, and he had been not eating for a month. I was trying all types of stuff, different foods, frozen, thawed, live, big, small, just trying to hold it, let it loose with them, all types of things. Nothing was working. And just cleaning out, like making sure that it was super clean in there, washing him off, and then putting him in there. So
I gotta check. Well, I only got one male that won't eat while he's breeding, but the other ones they're eating weekly.
Heck yeah!
As soon as I separate them, I offer them food and they eat immediately. So
try rinsing them off afterward. After he's done pairing or locking, try rinsing them off. Like clean him off a little, put him in his tub. Maybe he'll start eating. I didn't.
That's interesting.
Instantly. it worked instantly for me. I was like, oh wow, that's cool. Because I was starting to get nervous. I'm like, man, I don't like that, like I like my snakes to eat. I'd rather they be a little aggressive trying to bite me than not eat,
Yeah.
All right, so you got $10,000 to invest in ball pythons. What are you going with? A male-female pair, a banger male, or a banger female?
Probably a banger male.
Because you get more bang for your buck. I get that. Yeah, I'd probably do the same. I mean, I won this Het Sunset Het Clown male off of Keys Constrictors. It's a super pastel, and I was like, man, what am I going to do with this thing? I don't got like $3,000 to go put into a female to hit this. Well, it's just like I got a clown, so it's kind of got to go to her. I mean, I'll make clowns that are possibly 50% het. I mean, that's not the worst thing. And het for sunset.
Yeah.
I mean, and talking to the guy that I get it from, he said, you're going to be able to tell the het sunsets like the snap of your fingers. They're brighter. So I'm like, well, good. That's easy. That's nice. That's easy. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm still a little nervous about it because it just started and I got this gene that's new and you know what I mean? I don't know. How do you market it? How do you sell a $5,000 snake if you don't have a name? Well,
I mean, you could always hold it in there and wait to see, what else pops up later on. And at least you have it there,
Yeah, I know what you're saying. But it just causes, it's causing questions in my head. It's causing a lot of just like, what, it changes your plan. I mean, today I'm sitting there thinking that maybe I should just sell off 3 or 4, that fit but don't really fit, and make room and save that money to buy a female. And it's I don't know. I got a lot of thinking to do on this one. And these curveballs come to how you hit them that makes you the person.
Like I always say, like if it's something that you can see yourself working with later on, maybe you can't afford the female right now or the male. I mean, it's always good to hold on to it. You never know when, maybe someone else might want to do a pairing with you and stuff. So I'll hold on.
What I'd like to do with it is make something with it and donate a decent snake out of that clutch back into, like Keys' next giveaway or something. Just to give something back to what gave me, you know what I mean? Just, I kind of feel obligated to. In a way,
Hey, in that Keys giveaway, did you end up winning anything, Bosa?
No.
Dang. Have you won anything?
Hey, I'm glad. I'm glad because the people that won, they deserved it and they were happy and they got some good stuff. So I mean, that was awesome. I really wasn't looking to win either way. I probably would have passed on anything I won. So I was just happy, that we were celebrating something good, something, Keys Jano it's a community Jano. It's what brings everybody together. So to be able to celebrate him growing and continue grow and having people win, stuff and nice stuff, there was some real nice stuff. I was just happy for everybody winning, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yep.
We ended up Tamara won a snake and then I got like the 2 snake deal. So we ended up winning 3 snakes. And then Ken won a snake. I was like, oh dang, we all winning over here.
Yeah, John even won a snake. Because we've been running with John a lot lately in the night. Well, Shane more than I, but when I'm there, when I could stay up. I roll with him. But it was cool to see John win. But John gave us away because he didn't need it. But I mean, he gave it away to someone who deserves it. Darlene Kersey had won, and we was all trying to get her up, and we couldn't. So I was glad to see that. At least she got something. She won twice actually that night.
Stan had won as well, and man, that one hurt because that was a bomb snake too.
Yeah, I messaged him, but I guess he was sleeping.
No.
He had to have had
Yeah,
like
I was
20
messaging you
people.
too, Stan.
I messaged him. Yeah, we were all like, Stan! Like,
Yeah.
man, Stan, you need to hit me on IG with your phone number so I can just
They
call
gave
you
me
on
their numbers
repeat.
already. I got their numbers on Instagram. For next time, I will be calling your numbers. I'll give them to you.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
that just sucked. I felt obligated to reach out to those people, those two, Stan and Darlene, because they support us, and I would like to see them win. And, I don't know. I just felt obligated to reach out.
Definitely.
I feel like any time that it's somebody that like we know, we're all like, oh man, you gotta answer your phone, like
Right.
There's quite a few people that I would have definitely been trying to call at that time. Like, come on, man, get in there.
Almost everyone, really. I mean, if you wasn't there, I was going to call you for sure.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch the end because I can't follow.
Oh, it was going late, bro.
I think my phone knocked me out because I woke up and my phone was on my forehead, man.
That was a long one. That was grueling. That was a long one. Kudos to anyone that hung out that whole night. I mean, that's dedication for sure.
I think me and John went live after too. We were like, oh,
well, no, I was there for an hour, but
right, like because we were all so hyped, like from winning, like it was just like, oh, we're going live, like there was no way I was sleeping right then. I was super tired, but I couldn't fall asleep. I was just like, oh no, I'm winning.
Yeah, John's another guy that he's doing awesome. I know he's doing his podcast and it's going great. And just if he's out here, I just want to tell him, hey man, keep going, bro. Don't come back down. Don't stop. Just keep moving forward because you're doing awesome.
So, what advice would you go back and give your teenage self?
My teenage self would probably tell myself to drive more carefully, to not listen to what people tell me and let it control what I do. I wish that I wasn't always following the crowds before. I would tell myself that, follow what you like. I've always had a passion and the love and the interest for animals, and snakes were something that I was curious about, but I was always told they were evil. And I wish that I would have just gone out and done it a long time. Probably would have avoided a lot of stuff I got myself into,
Definitely.
You see me now, I'm completely different than who I was. I'm more humble. I'm more focused. I'm more about positivity. I try to be, as real as I can.
I got another one hooked. Sorry. But, that's my daughter. I'm getting 4 new snakes. I didn't do that at all.
It's always interesting to me to think about, like, if I could actually go back and change some stuff, would my life be better? Yes. But would I have the same things that I have now? Maybe not, And it always makes me reflect and think, like, the journey is kind of what's important, you know?
I think that I wouldn't change anything, even the bad stuff I've been through, just because I know that I can help someone that's going through that. And I think that made me too, that woke me up to who I am now, and even though I still go, as a matter of fact, today I almost even canceled just because of some stuff that was going on. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to let that bring me down, bring anything down.
Appreciate that, man.
I'm going to come out here and I'm going to support. And, one of the only reasons I'm on camera is just because Nicole, Lady Tiz, she believed in me. You know, I always turned down interviews, and then she found a way to get me on there. You know, and
I'm glad she did.
She helped me just open my eyes, you know, to more stuff, you know. So I appreciate her for that. Always, I always, you know, I'm probably her biggest cheerleader out there. So Nicole,
and, hey,
thank you.
That video that you had with her, man, that was one of my first like videos I had seen, Lady Tiss. So like it was both of you guys, and when you guys were talking, it was like I was hooked. I was like, oh yeah, both of these people are cool as hell, you know, like, and it just like from then on, I've been watching Lady Tiss and watching your stuff. Like it just, that interview was an awesome interview. That one, there's a few others. I don't want to single anybody else out because it'll make other people that aren't as great not look as good. You know, everybody is great on there.
Everybody.
Yeah. Everybody's doing a good job. Pat yourself on the back.
Exactly. Yeah, there was a few episodes though that just had me like, boom, you know, like mind blown. And yours was one of them. It was real good to see that kind of a camaraderie going on there, and just that like we were watching you come out of the shell. Like it was cool to see, you know.
Yeah, it was definitely cool to see. For so long being, you know, going through all the stuff I went through the depression, being big, and you know, it kind of gets to you mentally, you know. And I didn't really want. I didn't even want to be in camera. I would do my TikToks and my Instagrams with me, but never talking or anything like that. So, you know, Nicole made it in a way where I wasn't pressured, but I felt like it was time, you know. I wanted to show my daughter that you can do anything you say yourself out to, you know, even if you don't believe in yourself. So I think I accomplished that with her, and that's why I'm always grateful to Nicole. You know, like what she did for me was more than I can ever thank her for. So yeah.
I mean, and what you do for everybody else, you're out here. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. There's been some episodes where me and Ken were up there. We're looking at that ticker, and it says 0 people in there. Somebody pops in. Who is it? It's Kike.
Yeah, you know I remember it being you two and me in the chat. So you know, and then to see.
I mean, look how far we came in 3 months. It's like been 3 months.
How it's grown. How you guys
maybe 4
have accomplished so much in so little time. I mean, that's awesome. You know, like to know that I was there from the beginning.
Absolutely.
It's amazing. Like every time I see your guys' interviews and stuff, I see you guys and everybody's coming in the chat and stuff. That's an awesome feeling, you know. So I mean, keep going, keep doing.
You don't know how much that means coming from someone like you. Like, you know, because you support everyone. And wanting to be there with us from day one.
Definitely. Yeah. I'm a big fan. So, you know, I'm always there watching.
So, like, I guess what I was trying to get into earlier was, like, the fact that you were one of our only supporters at times, you know, and I've seen you in so many other places where you're just supporting everybody. I feel like everybody wants to support you at whatever you do because, you know, we want to reciprocate. We appreciate that, and it's like, we know you're not asking for it. We don't need you to. We want to do it. You know, so it's like, hey man, you ever need anything, you let us know, man. The community's here for you. You know?
I definitely felt that love and that support from everybody, and it's awesome. You know, like you said, I'm not out there looking for. I'm not looking for followers. I'm just doing me. You know, enjoying.
Exactly.
And while I'm out there enjoying myself, I'm also supporting everybody that I can and try to be there. And and I get that love back, and there's no words to explain all that, you know, and it's
There
awesome.
isn't.
So I do it for the pure love and the enjoyment I get out of this community.
Heck yeah. And it's addictive. I feel like it's so addictive. Like, not just the reptiles, because we all know the reptiles are definitely addictive.
They're definitely addictive.
But even like watching live streams, chatting with people, all this stuff, like I feel like I gotta be doing it. If I'm not, I'm just like, oh, I'm so bored. What can you know? And I'm like,
Right.
oh, someone's on. Okay, cool. Let me go and see who's on there, you know, or what are they talking about, and this and that. So it's just funny to see how like addictive the whole thing is, not just specifically one aspect of it, but the entirety of it.
Everything.
From great
Growing
people
live got
to
addicted to
awesome
me.
animals to
Yes.
entertainment. it's everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing something you enjoy, you know, whether it's going live, whether you got 100 people looking or one person in the chat. I mean,
Yeah,
because you're having fun, and that's one thing I saw about y'all. Y'all were in there, and y'all were just having fun, chatting up and talking about snakes and enjoying yourself, you know, and that's what makes a podcast welcoming, where you're there and you're enjoying what you're doing. You know, you're not
Exactly.
to do it. You're not doing it for certain notoriety or anything. You're doing it because you enjoy it. So that's awesome.
right. And I mean, in the end, we do want to grow and become huge or whatever, like, you know, but like, that's to us, that's still like pretty outlandish dreams. We are having, like, the majority of our podcasts are just like to get to know people, to enjoy it, and to hang out with your friends. Cause I mean, it's pretty cool. It's like a, you know, like Skyping or whatever, video chatting with your friends, but you got 10 of them at the same time and 20 in chat, and you're just like, heck yeah, you know, just, it's a party. It's a party every day.
Yeah.
It's like a high school gathering for adults.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So
it's weird. It's a way for us to, like, as if we were all at the bar, but none of us had to leave, you know?
Yeah.
without the alcohol. I mean, we don't need the alcohol there.
like,
I don't drink anymore.
You can't have alcohol, or you don't need to have alcohol. That's, you know, either way you go. But the whole idea is that we all get to come together and, like, be able to, you know, swap stories from across the country and feel like we're right next to each other.
Yeah.
You know?
That's the coolest part of this to me. Walking around the streets of London, that was amazing. Like 21st century Mike.
21st century Mike.
I just, that guy is just so, like, just down to earth and just such a nice guy. He's welcoming, like, you know, a welcoming person, and just, I don't know. It was just cool.
Yeah.
Seeing something you haven't seen before, and walking to work with that guy in the morning. I mean, I talk about that a lot because it was awesome. I don't know. I've done it twice. I want to do it again.
I love Big Mike. He's awesome. I always call him my brother. You know, that's my brother right there.
Right. He's like everybody's big brother for sure.
Right. If you could travel anywhere in the world and stay there for a month, where are you going?
I'm staying here in Florida, man. What you mean? I'll stay right here. I love Florida.
You're down near Key West too, aren't you? The southern part.
I'm the last city before hitting the Keys. I'm in Homestead.
Right. That's a nice area.
Yeah. I love it here. I mean, but in all seriousness, if I could travel somewhere, probably be Australia.
Nice.
See, Australia is super intriguing, but super sketchy. You know, we all know most of the deadliest things on the planet are in Australia, and they're just waiting for some Americans to come and mess with them. You know?
I mean, I actually know someone that, like, from this small town that I live in, probably about 15 years ago, that went to vacation to Australia, and she didn't come home. She got, like, chewed up by a sea alligator, like a sea caiman or whatever they're called. I know I ain't saying the right name, but it was one in the sea. It's one of them little long noses. Water croc. Yeah, saltwater croc.
Saltwater croc. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Killed her.
we got the Everglades here, so I mean, we got all kinds of
Y'all got some
animals.
sketchy shit already. Yeah. That's for sure. Okay, so speaking of things that gives me nightmares, what keeps you up late at night? You know, what are you thinking about when you're tossing and turning?
Man, I'm thinking about that thermostat going bad or something. Snake rat.
Thermostat.
Man, I am paranoid when it comes to when I went to Daytona. It was the first time I left the snakes for that long. I disconnected it. I disconnected everything. I like they won't die. It won't get cold over here. So, you know.
Yeah, wouldn't get cold enough to really hurt them.
Nah, so I'm actually gonna change over to complete ambient temperature since my garage is perfect weather for it, temperature for it. So I'll be happy when I completely change and I don't have to worry about that. At least, you know, that the one thing that, because if anything happens to any of the snakes, I don't know, I'll freak out, man.
Right.
Yeah, that would suck. I fear it myself.
Yeah.
So, what is your biggest challenge of this upcoming year?
Biggest challenge, I would say probably learning to make time, a little more time for family stuff, you know. Not everything can be about snakes, even though my family enjoys it, my kids and my wife. But I think that it's also healthy to have something other than just the snakes, you know.
Yeah.
And to me, that's a challenge because I want to be around the snakes or around, you know, podcasts and anything that has to do with the reptiles. So
right.
It's been a challenge. Luckily, they enjoy it too. But I think that making time for them in a different environment is also something that I should probably work a little more on, you know. So that's probably my biggest challenge. Everything else, I see it as not a challenge, just as something I'm working on. So
I think all of us family men feel the same way, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I feel that way too, where I'm like, you know, I mean, just before I got in here, we were, you know, I was cleaning and all this other stuff and like making dinner for the family, but like I ate and had to come out right away, you know, and it's like they understand it, they're down, but at the same time, I'm like, I do feel bad at times where I'm like, I gotta do something special for my lady or something, you know, like I can't go on tonight, you know, this and that. Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, it's definitely a balance.
It's a challenge. Well, because also, like, all right, so do you ever like go to try to talk to random people and you catch yourself like talking about snakes all the time?
Yeah, I do it all the time. Everyone around me is like, we don't always want to hear about snakes, especially my kids. Well, my youngest one.
I find myself, I'm having a conversation and then I'm talking about the snakes and you'll see some of them, they're like, yeah, I don't want to hear that. So
right.
I have to find a way to, you know, to change the conversation. But then there's other people that they're interested, they're curious about it, and they start asking questions. So, but almost every time I'm talking about snakes.
Yeah, I have a buddy named Scotty that every time I call him, like, we'll talk like, yo, what's up? And he'll be like, all right, man, what's going on with your snakes? And I'm like, oh,
I know you want to say it. I know it's coming.
Like, but to me, I'm like, hey, man, that's a good friend. I appreciate you, even though you have no interest in it. He knows I want to talk about it, you know? And I'm like, I got this and this I want to tell you. So he'll sit there and listen. but I also got to sit there and be like, all right, I got the important stuff passed. All right, what's going on with your life? Let's get back to other stuff, because otherwise, you let me talk, I'll go on all day. You got to tell me not to, like.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So where do you see yourself in 10 years from now?
10 years from now, I hopefully still see myself in this community. I see myself probably doing more educational stuff, probably, if anything, just working with the youth that want to be in the hobby, just mostly just educating, and then
I mean, okay, that's one of the most important things out there. We gotta spark, or make that spark for those kids. The next generation,
Especially in Florida.
In Florida, like I like to say a lot, like these kids, you don't know if one day they become a lawmaker,
President.
someone in that position of power, and maybe they're not reptile keepers, but they know about it and they experienced it and they know the truth about the animals, because most of these people don't know anything about the snakes, and they just see it as an evil animal or a dangerous animal, and know nothing about the snake. But if we can reach these kids before they get to that age where they're influenced by the politics of life and everything around them, then hopefully we'll have someone fighting in our corner, So, I mean, that's something I see very important. I want one day my grandchildren to be able to enjoy the animals I'm enjoying now, and this is something that I want my kids to be able to do if they wish all their lives, So it's about protecting them and protecting the animals. And, most of these people now that are in position of power that are against us, they have no
understand
of what they really mean to us, Like a lot of us would go crazy without these animals, or be doing way more damage to ourselves mentally if we didn't have these animals. So I believe in impacting the youth before they get to that age where life hits you and everything is all seriousness,
Yeah. I mean, and I'm super firm in believing that, spreading the education of these things is so important. And it's a lot easier whenever you have a snake with you too, because then you can show the people all the little things and this and that, and like you're handling them and show them that you're not afraid at all, that you're like, oh, no, I'll kiss this sucker, like it's cool. But
Go kiss your green tree boa.
Yeah, I'm not kissing that one. He's not a happy guy.
But I try.
I will pay you to try.
How much? I mean, it's a bite in the face.
It's the same bet as always, $20.
I don't know if that's worth a bite in the face.
Hey, man. I don't know, not from that one. But so what I was thinking about the other day was, or I think I was talking about this last night actually on Big D's late night podcast. But I was talking about how ball pythons should be emotional support animals, because then you could take them in stores and stuff and like show them off to people, enable, I was thinking of ways to grow the community, because we figure how many people are in the hobby, about 5 million, but there's like 330 million people in the United States. Like we got to get our numbers up, so it's like, how do we get these people? Well, we bring them out more often. We go places, and we show how awesome they are. A lot of stores won't let you have one. Well, emotional support animal, And we were kind of joking about it, but after, like really thinking about it, it was like, well, they really are, like I know that whenever I'm having a tough day, I'm in there looking at my tubs, dealing with all the stuff. And even as much stress as it is, either like, oh man, I got to clean this, I got to do this, I got to do that. It's still like there's a piece of it, there's like a piece in your soul.
Yeah.
He froze. Yeah, I get what he's saying now.
Oh, did I freeze?
Yeah, you're good now.
Oh, okay. Yep, lost it. I don't know.
All right, so how have your parents inspired you in your life?
My parents have always supported me in what I like and stuff, even if they were against the snakes. Like my mom was real religious and didn't like the snakes for anything. My dad, he's always been the kind where a good snake is a dead snake. But once they saw the change in me, they've always supported me. My dad has always let me have all kinds of animals, anything but snakes. But I grew up having animals all my life, so he never limit anything other than snakes as pets. So they've always been my backbone and everything.
My mom was very similar in letting me have a lot of pets. However, she was not for any snakes. And when I was like 15, 16, my brother and I had gotten like a couple of snakes, and we kept them like, my brother lived in the basement. So we kept the whole setup down there. And it was maybe like 9 months before she even found out that like we had a snake, and she didn't even see the snake. She seen us carrying in a box of rats, like she was like, "What's that?" And we're like, "Oh, it's just food," She was like, "No, that ain't food. That's a rat." And I'm like, "Don't worry, it'll be gone soon."
Yeah.
But, yeah. So, hey, speaking of family, if you were at your mama's house and she's like, "Let me make you something," what dish are you asking your mom to make you?
That's a tough one for me to answer because I don't like my mom's cooking no more. It's bland. I'll make it myself.
I've always liked my mom's traditional Nicaraguan dishes, so I would probably ask for one of those.
Heck yeah.
It's called bajo. It's a brisket, but it's steam cooked in strips with vegetables and stuff, and it's real good. I'll probably ask for that.
There you go. Awesome. Heck yeah. So,
all right, so my last question.
House, we gotta have her make.
Definitely.
So my last question I have for you is: you could have 3 people, dead or alive, to have dinner with. What 3 would they be?
Bob Marley.
Anyone ever?
Bob Marley will be one. Probably Elvis Presley. And probably Jim Carrey.
All right, Jim Carrey.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
Cool.
Love Jim Carrey.
Right.
Man,
I don't even know how I would answer that question. Like I'm just sitting here thinking about it. I didn't think about it, and I'm like, man, that's a stumper.
Yeah.
I mean, you think of even now. I mean, I would probably have Cheech and Chong there because it would just be a blast. Cheech, Chong, and Snoop Dogg. I mean, what could go wrong there?
Yeah, that would be a good combo right there. Or Willie Nelson.
Yeah, Willie could come in too. Then I could sing that song, I'll never smoke weed with Willie again.
Yeah, right.
I'm stumbling away.
Yeah, I think mine would actually just be my grandparents.
That's cool. I mean, thinking about it, I remember my grandpa, but I've never really met the man, and I've heard quite a few stories about him. So maybe I'll have to replace Snoop Dogg with my grandpa, just so I can get to know him.
Yeah.
That's all I had, Shane. You got any other questions?
Yeah, well, all right. So we already know, but some out in the crowd may not know. If you could have any pet dinosaur, what are you picking?
T-Rex.
T-Rex.
Yep.
If you could train that thing, you got protection the rest of your life.
Yeah, I probably should have fun with him trying to get him to reach stuff for me with his little hands and stuff.
That's wrong, man.
He got like the apex predator of all apex predators, and he's over there like, come on, reach it, reach it.
Yeah. All right, you got it.
Right. You got to be quicker than that.
Then you see him flying through the air because he actually did get it.
Right? Bosa goes flying.
Oh
man, that'd be crazy though. But man, we appreciate you for coming on. Everybody that hasn't already, make sure you guys subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. There's Ken from LMK Reptiles. There's Bosa from Bosa Balls, Kike. Make sure you guys subscribe to him. Check him out on Instagram. You got a Facebook, TikTok, all that stuff. What else you got going on?
TikTok and Instagram is what I use the most.
There you go, guys. You heard it from him first. Make sure you guys check them out. All that good stuff. Check me out, Heads and Tails. Check out my Spread Shop, Heads and Tails, or my Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. You can find me everywhere. I'm out here. We appreciate you guys. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you, everybody.
Later.